y'all. This is Ashley with What's Up Under That. So, y'all know my famous line is, let's try this again. Let's try this, because I tried to do this the other day. I have another guest that is going to be coming on to the podcast. By the time you guys hear this, it's a very high chance that it will have already been posted. So look out for that, or go back and watch it, listen to it. That's talking about watching it. So yeah, the last episode I had, you guys know in previous episodes, I did talk about, just notes, my perspective, my take on it from this community that I'm in, called the Lamb community. They have meetings frequently, and I feel like I've taken a lot of amazing notes. I've even had like some revelations for myself, but we're going to just dive right into it. I might make this a two-parter, or this probably might be a long episode, but I don't know. Stay and see. Grab a pen and a pencil and take some notes. You never know. When you take notes of your own, you find the answers to questions that you weren't expecting to get answered in that way. So first things first, your happiness will not look like others. Now, this is something that I quoted for myself. I had a whole revelation today, had a whole breakthrough, and I realized for so long that I was comparing my happiness to others. I'm really starting to learn and better understand what that saying means. Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm really starting to understand it, because it was like I was hearing it, but I wasn't hearing it, But it's like, somebody could be happy for something, and you're in a space where you're like, oh my goodness, I want that happiness. But it's like, you don't even know what your happiness looks like. You don't know what your happiness smells like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. You don't know what happiness looks like for you. So it's just kind of like when you're in a space where you want the same happiness that somebody else has, you don't realize that you're taking away from what could be possible for you. Like me personally, my happiness looks like getting up before anybody else and having quiet time to myself. My happiness looks like getting in a car and going on an adventure and running errands with family. My happiness looks like being able to talk with friends, or being able to FaceTime with friends. Like, what makes one person happy is not going to make it's not going to make the other person just as happy, or what you do to create that happiness. It's going to look different for every person. So, when you have that moment when you're just like, damn, like, I just want to be happy again. And sometimes if you wait for circumstance, sometimes, and this is something that I've learned over the last couple of years, if you sit and wait for a good moment to come, you will be waiting forever. Like, literally, if you sit and wait for a good moment to come, you will be waiting forever. And I feel like, too, one of the best things that you can do when you have a bad day is, one of the ways to make you happy is remember that tomorrow is always a new day. The day that you're having now will not be the day that you have tomorrow. Things may look different. Things may change. It may be in or out of your circumstance, in or out of your hands. But going to sleep with that mindset, tomorrow is a new day. And that is something that I have done for a good chunk of my life, of having that mindset that tomorrow is always a new day. The next thing is, and this was more so like a question, how do you not have the strength and ability to move towards a yes, but you have the ability to stay in a mess? And it's pretty much like saying, like, how is it that you have the strength to stay in circumstances that you don't want to be in, but you can't utilize that same strength to go towards something that's going to help you? And it's crazy, because I was having a conversation with my spirit the other day, and I was thinking about a family member of mine. And, in thinking about them, I was just like, that person is suffering or, just going through pains being in the same place. I am also going through pains, but my pains are growing pains. And it's like, it made me realize it does not matter what side of the grass that you are on. It does not matter what side of the grass you are on. Tending to it is going to be work. Not tending to it is just as much work. It looks easy, but it's like, say there's something that it is that you want. Not wanting it is just as painful as having to work for it to get that thing that it is that you want. So it's like, why not utilize that energy and shift it into something different that you can actually get something from? An example of this, that it made me think about that, was in the meeting that we had today. In the meeting, and I want to say it's here in my notes. I should be able to. You'll try something for 30 days and give up, but stay in a mess for a decade. And that really shifted my perspective. Like, I would say between two situations that I was in, like romantically and sexually involved in. One of them, let me see. That's 2 years. In total, between those two situations combined, I gave 4 years of my life to niggas that did not give a damn about me. They did not care about my well-being. They did not care about my success. They did not care about my health. They did not care about my mental and emotional well-being first and fucking foremost. I gave 4 years to those people. In total, I gave them 4 years. And it's like, and now I think about it, I'm not going to even front. Like, y'all know I don't be sugarcoating shit. I have been so stressed out with school. I'm not in school right now. I'm on break. But that thought has crept in. Like, I could easily leave this shit alone, I'm like, I still have my business. I have Reiki. I have everything else I'm working on. I could just quit this shit right now. And when he said that today, like, you'll give up in 30 days, but you've been in the same fucking situation for a decade, and that shit hit me. I gave them niggas 4 years of my life with no issue, but I can't stay through the mess and muster up the strength and ask my ancestors and God and the spirits for the strength to be able to get through these classes. Baby, bye. Baby, bye. No. And that really shifted my perspective with just everything. Like, baby, if you gonna give anything else time, give you time. Give your business some time. Give that hobby that you've kept putting off for years time. And a lot of people have been saying this, but I don't know if y'all really feel that energy. 2024 is the year of it is now or never. Like, it's an 8 year. This is the year to break the cycle. You can either keep doing the same shit or you can choose differently. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I recently did that has been changing my life. You guys know I always talk about ancestral healing, ancestral veneration work, all of those different things and stuff, right? I will soon be participating in Ramadan. Well, by the time you guys listen to this, it will more than likely already be Ramadan. But I told myself I'm participating in it again this year. But I said, I need to start training my body to get up early so I can have time to myself, so I can journal, so I can really start recreating better habits. But first and foremost, just getting up early, period. And, I asked my ancestors and my guides, I said, I need help with this. In these last couple of days, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. But today was different. When I woke up today, I woke up early. I got up, showered, because I knew we had errands and stuff to run and all of those different things. And I woke up today, and the first thing I usually do is I'll check my notifications, check social media, or I'll play a game to kind of wake my brain up. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna choose something different. So I went into my journaling app, and I wrote did a little gratitude list. I made a list of the things that it was that I was grateful for in that very moment based on how I was feeling, so centering around a specific feeling. And I was so proud of myself, and I'm just I literally just made a choice to do something different. And it's something that they mentioned in the meeting today was you got to get to a point where you are sick of your shit. You are tired of doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. And I'm just that shit really hit me, because that's the space that I've been in. And I'm just I can't keep trying to do the same thing and expecting something different. It can't work that way. So yeah, that was the extent of that. The next one was, have you found comfort in pain? And it ain't really too much to say to that, because that goes back to what I was saying with the example that I gave. You can either be in pain being in the same spot, or you can be in pain doing something different. It's going to be pain either way. It may not be pain in the beginning. It may not be pain in 2 months. But there will come a point where your body gets tired of the repetition, and you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself up that hill to keep going. And I think sometimes that's the hardest part, when the frill and thrill is all gone, and you have to be your own motivation. And that's what I was telling myself too. I got so hyped in that meeting. Spirit gave me a download. I dropped a sale for my readings, and I was I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna do that. And I told myself, you won't always have these moments. You won't always have these moments where you are with this community, or just having this moment that you're having right now where you feel so inspired to take some action. What are you going to do when you find yourself in a plateau moment and that frill and thrill is gone and you need to do the thing? What are you going to do? So, there's that. The next one is, a lot of us are in places we don't want to acknowledge. That one, I'm going to have to sit on that one, y'all. I ain't even going to lie. I'm going to have to sit on that one. Because I was just taking, quickly taking notes. But for somebody, that could just easily mean the place that you're in, you don't want to acknowledge it. Because if you acknowledge it, that means you have to take accountability. And if you have to take accountability, that means you can't keep complaining, because you could be the very reason that you're still in the space that you're in. The next one is this one hit me. They said, some of us are trying to get to places when we haven't even passed current levels. The reason that one hit me.
Take a look at this.
My bad, y'all. That was my son. But the reason specifically why that hit me is because I was having a conversation with a friend some weeks back. And I told her, I'm ready to step into my bad bitch era, all this stuff like that. And I asked, what did you do to get to that space? Y'all, my spirit cut that shit off so quick. As soon as my friend was getting ready to start talking, my ear started ringing. I said, sis, never mind. She was like, oh, what happened? I said, my spirit is it is not time for you to be in a place that you are not ready for yet. You are trying to put yourself in a space that you're just not ready for yet. And I feel personally, a lot of people can probably relate to that, because, that's social media. Social media shows us all the place that we want to be at, but we haven't even passed the current levels that we are at. I'm like, girl, you can't just up and be a bad bitch when you still have moments where you don't feel confident in yourself. You still feel moments where you're like, should I do this? Should I wear this? Oh, excuse me. Should I talk like this? Should I say this? Shoulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda. All these should I's. Could I do this? Would I do this? If you have to have doubt every time you do something, or if you have to feel like you have to be validated by somebody else's yes or no in order to do the thing, you cannot be in your bad bitch era. Like, you can't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be okay with where I'm at and slowly working up to that point. Because I already know a lot of people have told me that they have had visions of my higher self. And they were like, sis, I'm gonna tell you, shorty ain't shit to play with. Like, she's not shit to play with. She don't take no shit. She don't take no excuses. She don't take none of that shit. And I was like, sis sound bad as fuck. But I'm like, yeah, let me chill. I'm not ready for that yet. So the next thing is, will you have the strength and ability to stay in that new place? That one definitely hit. At this point, the conversation really honestly and truly, the conversation felt personal. I was like, wherever my higher self is, wherever that other version of me is, I don't even have what it takes to maintain that shit. Like, I don't. And that's what you got to ask yourself sometimes. And, people say this all the time when it comes to manifesting. Do you have what it takes to maintain the blessings that it is that you're asking for? If you had $300,000 in your deposited in your account tomorrow, there was no error. There was no, it got sent to the wrong place. None of that shit. None of it. Would you have the ability to maintain it? What would you do with it? Especially given this day and age, a lot of us have anxiety and are maybe neurodivergent. How would that shit make you feel? Would you be trying to hurry up and give it away to people? Would you be trying to hurry up and spend it? What would you do? What would be the plan if you had that amount of money deposited into your account? 9 times out of 10, you don't know. You do not know. So it's like, be okay with taking the steps. The next thing here that we have are the various needs. So basic needs, psychology needs, and self-fulfillment. Now, some of the notes were scattered. I'll have to go back and listen to the recording when it's available. But first thing, self-fulfillment, achieving one's full potential, including creative needs. Psychological needs includes your esteem, your sense of belonging and love, intimate relationships, and friends. And one of the things I put a quote with that is, once I cross the finish, some people have to ask themselves, what stops them from doing the thing? Once I cross the finish line, will there be anyone there to celebrate me? The next one is basics needs, safety needs, psych needs, different things like that. And that's just like saying, say somebody is telling you, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. But you can't give all that your attention because you're worrying about, an example he gave is you're worrying about where is your next meal going to come from? Where is this going to come from? Where is that going to come from? The next thing here, esteem needs, that's the one I didn't get notes on. But next, if you don't focus on real reality, you will just turn into a content creator, bro. That shit, when I tell y'all, I feel like my spirit was speaking through this meeting, because this is shit that conversations that I've had in my head. Like, you gotta think, I was thinking about this when I was driving today. I said, there are so many content creators that literally do the same shit. Everybody goes to the gym. Everybody brushes their teeth. Everybody washes their hair. Everybody has their little aesthetic coffee. Everybody has their refrigerator organization. Everybody makes their bed. Like, literally everywhere we are in, what's that called? We are in the metaverse. We were so fucking worried about what the shit was gonna look like that we don't even realize we in this shit. It's literally all the same fucking things, bro, all the time. Let's make ASMR coffee. let's do an ASMR shower. And it's like, I know that whole saying, the market isn't oversaturated because it doesn't have a you, but it's like, this is why we need authentic. This is why we need different. This is why we need people that are willing to be authentic and, show the shit, show the regular ass apartment. If you feel comfortable, show yourself breaking down over something that's very difficult so people can see these people are real humans with real emotions and real feelings, and they go through real shit. Like when you're so busy trying to create an aesthetic for social media, you are no longer a person. You are just simply turning into a content creator, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are some content creators, I really do love their content, but I am also one of those people. I love real shit. Like I love real authentic content. We gotta think. We grew up on blurred images. We grew up on Androids. We grew up with videos that seem so clear. Now when we look back at them, they look like ancient memories. And it's not so much saying to humble yourself, because growth is always amazing, but it's like more people need things that they can relate to. People need things that it is that they can feel, So next thing, don't feel because you might be blessed. Don't feel because you might be blessed you aren't still having a human experience. And this was just pretty much talking about that whole, I don't deserve to feel X, Y, and Z because somebody has it worse. And it's like when you do that, you're denying yourself of what you feel. And I feel like too, this is a inner child emotional response, because it would be like every time when we would feel some type of way, our parents told us we can't feel it. And that's low-key probably why our generation is, I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to offend anybody, but it's very much true why our generation has so many alcoholics and so many people that smoke weed and have sex and do so many things to numb themselves, because as children, we were always told not to feel. We were always told to just suck it up. You're going to be all right. It's not about if I'm going to be all right. I'm not all right now. I need somebody to hold space for me right now. I need to be able to feel like shit right now. And that is something myself that I have gotten better about. When I have a shitty day, especially having ADHD, I'm quick to find something to help me stem me out that spiral. Quick. And what I've been doing, like even today, I ain't even going front. I had a moment today, y'all. I was just like, I wanted to talk to everybody, and I was so social, and it's like, I've been able to read the room and read the energy when certain days when my world feels quiet, when my world sounds quiet, and that spirit telling me to pull in and sit with myself. I don't need to be in the mix. And that shit was very uncomfortable for me. Like, this is something I've been doing consistently. Being okay with the discomfort of silence. Y'all, that is equally, somebody who has ADHD, that is equally a dream as it is a nightmare. Some people wish they had silence. That shit drives me nuts sometimes. But just because you are blessed does not mean you don't deserve to honor your emotions. The next thing here, that's the same thing. You being human doesn't mean you're not being thankful. The next one here was, don't exchange our peace, our happiness, or our joy for what we think it looks like. And that just goes back to what I said in the very beginning of the podcast. What is peace to you is not peace to somebody else. You don't know what that person had to do to find their peace. You don't know what they had to do to find their happiness. You don't know what they had to do to finally feel joy. So don't exchange what you're feeling for what it is that somebody else is. The next one is, do not hurt yourself trying to get to the next level out of order. And that just goes back to what it is that we were saying, stop trying to be a version of yourself that you're not ready to be. Like, you're not ready. And that's okay. And I feel like for me, like I was thinking about it earlier this week, and I'm just like, there's so many parts of my journey that I don't remember. And it's because I was in a rush to be this next thing. I was in a rush to be, in a place that I wasn't ready for. Like even now, like there's things I'm slowly integrating in my business. There's things that my ancestors are slowly giving me back because I have not learned to maintain those blessings in the way that I asked for them 3 to 4 years ago. So it's like sometimes you got to take baby steps. Instead of being like, oh, this is where I want to be, ask yourself, what is one step I can take in this moment to get there? Whenever you feel yourself in a space where you're just like, I don't know what to do, I don't know this and that, just say, what is one step that I can take? If you know that you want to start reading more, but you have a very short attention span, like me, one step you can do, set a timer for 5 minutes, read the book. And I kid y'all not, when I started doing that shit, I found myself going over the 5 minutes because I did not want to stop reading what it is I was reading. So that's just a quick little example for you guys. The next thing, it's not healthy to have everything money can buy and have a broken soul. Baby, when I tell you this is a realization that I had last year. Like I was in a space where a lot of my manifestations were hidden. Money from random places was just flowing in, but I was still dealing with a heavy ass depression. I was still dealing with this immense sadness. And I said, that moment right there, now that I've things have settled down over the years, and being in that moment and having all that money flowing in, I said, I'm grateful. I said, look, God, I'm grateful for having this, but I want laughter. I want love. I want friends. I want family. I want all of those things that money cannot buy. And it's like going back to say, it's not that you're not grateful, but you also realize that a lot of the things that are the most valuable, you cannot put a price on that shit. You just can't. No matter how much you try to, you can't. And I realized that too, even with one of my friendships, my best friend Taylor, that you guys have heard me talk about. And I was telling my life coach this. I said, this is one of the healthiest friendships that I have ever had. And I said, that scares the shit out of me. She said, why? She said, I understand. She said, but I just want to hear you. I said, because it makes you realize the work that you may needed to have done on yourself in previous friendships. It makes you realize, this is somebody that I do not want to lose. And it's like when you're in a relationship or a friendship that you feel you're in a state of survival, you don't realize that those things, you don't really realize that they're there. But when you get into a healthy friendship, it highlights everything you got to work on. It's kind of like when you're getting into the health and the wealth and stuff and all those things, and you start taking vitamins and you realize you get sick. It's because your body has been holding on to all of those toxins and your body's been storing them. Now that it has what it needs, it's releasing what it doesn't, and you're realizing everything that's there. And you're like, oh no, I don't want to take these anymore. These are making me sick. And it's not. It's just making you aware of what has been there. And it's like you can either stick through it and keep pushing and keep going, or you can cop out. Bro, I couldn't cop out if I wanted to. I can't, because I'm just like I said, this has been one of my healthiest friendships. Like, shorty is like family, y'all. She's not like family shit. She is family. So you gotta realize sometimes the value that things hold. And it's like one of the things too that I realized, and I got a reality check from a past friend. And I feel like it was more so their spirit delivering a message, not that I was like being a bad friend to them, so to speak. But This one girl I was friends with, her spirit told me, you can't just get rid of people like they're nothing. And of course, that wasn't the case with her. Just being 110% honest, it wasn't the case with her. But that shit, like, really, it really made me realize if I want any friendship, relationship, or anything to work, I'm going to have to put in the work with myself. It's not always about working on the relationship. Two people make up the relationship. So the only way to work on the relationship sometimes is to work on yourself. The only way the foundation of that relationship can get better is if you work on your own foundation. And that's just that, sometimes some people, it's an easy fix of pay more attention, being intentional with date nights, being intentional with that person, period. And some people, it's I have work within myself that it is that I need to do. So there's that. The next one is an affirmation. I want y'all to write this down. I said, success knows me by name. And what made me come up with this affirmation was because I realized I am worthy of being successful. God has shown me time and time again that I am worthy of it. So, how some people say, oh, I could never do that, or that could never happen to me. I want you to tell yourself, success knows me by name. Just like imagine, somebody met with the president and things popped off for them and you're like, that could never be me. The president of the United States knows you by name. The president knows me by name. That brand you want to work with, that brand does not only know your brand name, that brand knows your name. Say, for example, I wanted to get products placed in the store at Walmart. Walmart knows me by name. Walmart knows my brand. Tweak it to however it is you feel it'll register. But I want you to start telling yourself that success knows me by name, because your success is personal. The things that you desire are personal. The things that I desire know me by name. The love that I am craving knows me by name. The peace that I embody knows me by name. Tweak that and see how it worked for you. And the next thing is, a problem with a solution is a choice. When I tell y'all, I felt like I was in church. And that made me think it was a conversation I had with somebody a couple weeks ago. And I was telling them about a problem I had. They said, here's a solution. Mind you, what they brought up to me was a solution that was already there. I just didn't want to take it. Because taking that solution would mean it will be more work involved. And I'm just like, I got a lot on my plate. I don't want to add nothing else. I don't want to add nothing else. So next time, remember, the solution is always there. It's up to you if you want to take it or not. The next thing is, it's not our fault where we are or where we end up, but it will be our fault if we stay there. And that reminds me of that reminds me of that saying. What your parents did to you was not okay. What your parents did was not your fault. But you healing is your job. And this too, as I really started to think about that saying when it came to my relationships and my friendships. And I said, every time something goes wrong, I can't keep falling into the comfort and the crevices of this is what happened to me. Because anybody that knows me knows I am a very solution-oriented person. I've always been this way. Of course, I've given my grace over the years as I've been healing, but I'm very solution-oriented. And I said, look, this happened. What can you do to change or make it better? And I say this too, for the people that are doing inner child work. Sometimes the thing is to revisit it, take note of it, address it, and tweak it. The tweak it part is essentially reparenting yourself. Oh, you never got to go, your parents never took you ice skating because they never had any money, because they weren't financially responsible. Okay, so each year that the ice skating rink gets brought out for the wintertime, and that you wanted to go. So what can you do? Do they have memberships available? Can you start putting that money off to the side so you have money to go every weekend to go skating? Instead of dwelling on that wound, what can you do what can your adult self do to reparent yourself so that you have that experience? Oh, my parents never let me have sleepovers. Do you have nieces and nephews now? If not, do you have friends that have children? If not, do you have other friends? Invite everybody over. Have everybody bring a snack. Have everybody bring a dish. And have a movie night. Let everybody try and play the game who can stay up the longest. And whoever goes to sleep first, they get shaving cream or whipped cream on their face. Or, you take a picture of them sleeping or snoring or some shit. What you did not have, find ways to recreate. Okay? The next thing, I went over that already. The next thing, this hit. This hit. We're not making the decision enough. And I'm taking this one or two ways. I'm taking this as you're not making a choice. Just like how I told you guys how I wanted to prepare for Ramadan, I could just keep ice skating through this shit and be looking crazy as fuck when it come Ramadan. Next thing I know, it's 8 a.m. and I have nothing on my stomach. And now you mean to tell me I gotta wait until 6 p.m. to eat again? I think not. So what are we gonna do instead of complaining? What are we going to do instead of repeating what we did for Ramadan last year? We are going to make it a priority to start training our body to get up early anyway, so that we can have some food on our stomach, so that we can have some water in our body. That's what we're going to do. But you have to make that same decision enough to see the results that it is that you want to see. How bad do you want it? Just how bad do you want it? The next one was just a saying, but it was hilarious. We can't afford it, but them subscriptions go crazy. We talk about the things that we can't afford or that we can't pay for, but those subscriptions are charging our card monthly. And I told myself recently, I have a subscription with Linktree, and I told myself for right now, I do not need it. Like, there's probably one feature that I use on there. Like, literally one feature, y'all. One feature, and I'm just like, it's not worth the $9 a month that I have been charged for a whole year. Like, it's literally not worth it. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. So my money can stay in my bank account next month, period. The next one, and I feel like this shit hit really hard, especially, and I feel like I noticed this is something that most people may go through in their journey. Like, some people go through a small bit of psychosis, and this isn't saying everybody, but I feel like it's some just from the people that I have worked with in the past, and the fact that I know I have dealt with it myself. Your feelings are feelings, but they are not facts. And that is something that you have to tell yourself. And it's something my spirit told me after I wrote that down. My spirit said, if you tell yourself the same story enough, the universe will support you in that. Oh, you have no friends? Oh, nobody pays attention to you? Oh, nobody likes you? Okay. nobody's going to pay attention to you. You're right. Nobody likes you. Everybody thinks that you're annoying. Oh, you don't have any friends? Okay. Let me remove these people from your life because they're not your friends anyway. If you tell yourself the same story enough, the universe will support you in it. If you constantly say that you are broke, the universe will support that. If you constantly say that niggas ain't shit, the universe will support that and keep sending you niggas that aren't shit, because the story that you're supporting is what you feel you deserve. And that's something that I myself am working on. And I have been very strategic about changing the narratives in which I am narrating. You know, you are the narrator of your own mind. There is no life hack. There is no 30-day workshop. There is nothing that can help you change that narrative but you. When I tell y'all, I tried everything. I've tried Reiki. I've tried spiritual baths. I've done spell work. All of that shit was very short-lived because I was not putting in the work to change my mindset. I was like, oh, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. They came back and they came back with a vengeance. So, remember that. The next one is failure can only cope with consistency for so long. You are stronger than your failures. I didn't really understand what that meant, which is why I put the second sentence in parentheses. Failure can only cope with consistency for so long. And it's like, you failed. Oh, that's okay. You were consistent at something and you still failed. That's okay. Get up, try it again, see, okay, what can we do different? What can we change? What this, what that? What is something we could do? Something that came to mind with that for me specifically was with my business. I knew operating in the way that I used to do did not work for me. So I'm like, what can we do different this time? I cannot live like how 2020 Ashley was living. 2019 and 2020 Ashley, I can't do it. Sis was burnt out. I'm still recovering from that burnout. So what can we do? Okay, we're going to do smaller batches. Okay, we're going to start marketing ourselves to other businesses to put our products in their stores. If you failed the first time, what can you do differently? And if you don't know what you can do differently, ask somebody for professional help. Put that money towards investing and getting the answers. If you don't have the money for it, barter. Bartering is going to be your best friend. I've been bartering for 4 years now. Best thing I could have done. Honestly and truly. This next one was a download that I got. And I got this download because everybody was like, yeah, we all made it to this community for a reason. You're here for a reason. If you've been here every time we hold one of these meetings, you're here for a reason. And that made me think how I found this community was by scrolling on TikTok. I came across the creator. I engaged with his content. I stayed till the end of one of his videos. He gave the information, I followed it, and boom, here I am. This group has completely changed my outlook on so much shit. So much. And that's what made this message come up. You not putting out your content could be hindering you reaching those you need to reach. Put out the content. You're like, oh, nobody's gonna watch it, nobody's gonna this, nobody's gonna that. I'm only one person. I am only one person. I saw that content. It was what I needed in that moment. And I joined a community that has gotten me farther in a short amount of time than the work that I've been trying to do for years. Because with spirituality, there has to be a balance of practicality. Like I said, I was doing so many spiritual baths and rituals and spells that were so short-lived when it came to my mindset and the thoughts. At the end of the day, you have to do the work. Don't worry about, oh, I put in all that work and that person didn't see it. You're creating content because it's something that you love and you enjoy. Yeah, you make money from it, but the moment that you make it a chore or a job, that's when you start saying, oh, nobody's seen this or nobody this or nobody that. Because at the end of the day, after that post goes, the same time next year, you're the one that sees that memory. You're the one that sees all that work that you put in. Nobody else sees that but you. So put the shit out there and see what happens next. The next thing is sometimes we take steps further than what we need to because we know it's not currently obtainable. And it's pretty much saying sometimes some people do the most because they know it's out of their reach. And they know it gives them busy work instead of work that they could be doing that could be useful in this very moment. And that was something a girl told me in a reading that she gave me August of last year. She was like, start paying attention to where your energy is going and you'll see that you have more energy to do all the things you love. Baby, she was right. She was right. The moment that I stopped trying to be like everybody else in the spiritual community and started putting my energy to where I wanted it to be, I had a lot more energy to do the things that it is that I loved. And it's like, that was just me. That was really just me. And I'm just like, I'm deviating so far from what people have told me to do in readings and what God has told me to do. I'm creating busy work and then I'm getting mad at the busy work that is I'm creating. Girl, bye. The next thing here is, there is one step you can take right now. I already talked about that. Do we desire the change more or do we desire the current solution? And that's just something you gotta ask yourself. How do you desire the change that you're asking for so much that you are willing to take the solution that it is that you are given? I need to start applying this with working out. Because even with working out, y'all know I won't say y'all know, but I've been wanting to take a break from going on walks and actually go into the gym. But, that's that thing where it's like you doing busy work. I'm going on walks, but I'm like, I'm not stretching. Literally not stretching. I'm not setting goals for what it is I want to do. I'm not taking any baby steps. It's like you cannot work out without stretching. And being a massage therapist, it's like a slap on the hand. Like, girl, you know better. So, how much do you desire change that you are willing to reach out and grab the solutions that have been given to you? The next thing is putting yourself in a position to where people have to relearn you. And sometimes what I really took that as is sometimes so many people have access to the outdated version of us. And it's like, oh, but what if this and what if that? Like, think about it. Think about if you say you got a Mac computer and say the system is it's the same as when they first came out. You don't have all the gadgets you need to do video editing. You don't have everything that you need to operate what it is you have now. Because some people told Apple, they like what was available in that outdated system, so they kept it because, maybe 500 people say they like it. But now it's affecting you because you can't do what it is you need to do. And now look at yourself as that. There are some people that like certain characteristics of the outdated version of you. They are benefiting off of the outdated version of you. Some people are going to have to relearn you. And that is okay. That is absolutely okay. And that was something that made me think. I had a conversation with my life coach about. And I told her, like, I've gotten really serious about working on myself this year. I high-key think it's like the Saturn return. I really, really think it is, because that Saturn return energy has been like, balls to the forehead, bro. I shit y'all not. And I'm just like, I'm getting serious about what it is I want. I'm getting serious about my goals, like really, really getting more serious than what I already was beforehand. So next time you think about that, imagine if your phone still had the software of when you got your first iPhone, or when you got your first this or first that. Imagine how much that would inconvenience where you are right now. And this next one hit. It's today was heavily, today was heavy on, I'm getting ready to hold you accountable for how you've been holding yourself back. And this next one, he said, old versions, he said at first, you've been allowing people to play in your face for way too long. I was like, damn. And he said, but let me tell you, he said, y'all want to know who are the people? The people are you. The people are the old versions of you. The old versions of you that you are holding on to. You've been allowing those versions of yourself to play in your face for way too long. It's time to make a change, and it's time to do something different. And last on the list, we have, I want to say, I don't know if I said this or they said this. I really need to put what I say with my name on it. You don't have to be me to have, oh no, this is something that the guy said a mentor had told him. You don't have to be me to have what I have. You have to be you to have what's for you. Because he was like, oh, you got this and you got that and you got this and that. And he was like, you can have that. But if it's not what's for you. And, I think about that all the time. Like, there are some people that, when I was at my best, they're like, oh my goodness, Ashley, you're so this and you're so that. I remember the one compliment somebody gave me. I had a class I was holding, and I had to share my screen so that everybody could see what it is I was trying to show them. And they were like looking at all my folders like, oh my goodness, Ashley, you're so organized. I want to be like that. I want to do that. Man, come to find out, I had ADHD. Had folder on top of folder on top of folder on top of folder. Or there are some people that have been like I wish I had the knowledge and stuff that you have, like with herbs. Baby, the knowledge that I have with herbs, while it's something that's always been in my blood, in this particular point in my life, it was forced upon me. It was forced upon me. If y'all only knew some of the situations that God has put me in to be my own healer, to be my son's healer, baby, want what you want for you. For you. Want what you want for you. Because you never know what tests God puts somebody through to have what you see that you want. And just imagine if what it is that you want, if what it is exactly that you want came with the problems that person had to face to get it, would you still want it? Like, would you still want it? And I've really started to try to carry that mindset. I've really tried to start to carry that mindset when it comes to, like, just when I look at celebrities. I still have my moments here and there. Like, even with the work I do, I'm like, oh my goodness, they're so cute. Like, I love their relationship. And boom, they end and all of this shit surfaces. And that's when I realized everything does not have to be posted. Everything don't have to be validated. Like, it doesn't. It being put on social media does not mean that it's valid. It doesn't. Like, when people say social media is not real, they're dead ass. Social media is, as someone recently put it, social media is a big highlight reel. People highlight the good moments. They don't show the shit they go through. They don't show the moments they've had to ask for help. They don't show the moments that people have broken down. They don't show those moments where they're going through the darkest parts of their life, and it's them and God. Literally them and God. So just remember that, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this. And it's like, I like doing this. I told you guys already I wanted to start taking notes like this, like just like how it is that I take the notes when I'm in the meetings. I want to do that with things that it is that comes up for myself, because I like this, because this shit's a lot more organized. And honestly, like I told myself, I feel like, whenever I have a new season with my podcast, it's because I feel an energy shift, and I feel like it's time for that season to end. And I'm feeling that with this season right here. Like, this person that I was at the start of season 3 is not who I am now. And it's like, I feel like this is the close. And even too, like, you guys know, I'll come on here and I'll do podcasts and I'll just speak from experiences and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love doing that. But I am finding that having a list keeps me so much more organized, and I'm not bouncing all over the place or trying to remember stories. So let's just say this gonna be the last episode of season 3. If y'all roll with me this long, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in, and being here to not only see my podcast grow but to see my growth, because the girl who started this podcast is not the same as where I am now. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.